Hey everyone, Joe Opstrom. We're checking in at Bowfest, and we're actually at the Silent Night Flex-Fletch booth here with Dan Grunman of Silent Night Vanes and Flex-Fletch. And actually, I ran into them at the ATA show this past January. And what's kind of interesting about it is I didn't know this, but they're a Minnesota company. And Dan, you know, so it's really Silent Night is kind of a subtitle of Flex-Fletch, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about Flex-Fletch, because my understanding of this is that you guys have been around for a coon's age, right?
Yes, we were the first basically soft plastic vane on the market. There was one other vane. It was a hard plastic by another manufacturer that wasn't around very long. So Dad wanted something that wasn't going to get wet and lay down like feathers.
Sure.
And so he was in research and development at 3M, and that was one of the things he came up with because he had joined the archery club there.
Right.
The archery club really kind of took off with him, and the people just started seeing his vanes that he was making at home, and pretty soon the whole archery club was shooting them.
Right. It sounds a lot similar to the Chuck Saunders, and how his family got into things, and as well as the guys from Darton as well, Rex and his family, how they kind of got into things. So it's this historical kind of group of people that were in that kind of 1950s.
I see that a lot in this industry. There's a lot of, from the ground up, family businesses.
So when you guys started, Flex-Fletch was kind of the thing. And now, as we know a little bit about things, this whole industry is about technology, right? The newest bow, the fanciest cam, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And technology. And so we were joking about this earlier about my comment about vanes, right?
Oh,
and
right.
my thought about really all vanes are really is just someone cutting out things in different funkier shape, right? Because you've got this new shield cut, right?
Right.
Oh, that's what makes it different. And really, it's a whole different ball of wax.
There's a lot more to it than that, yeah.
Right.
Well, when it comes to our vanes, we have done extensive testing. Aerodynamically, these are superior. The material they're made out of is absolutely important. It's not an extruded plastic, although extrusion and the plastics that come from it are better than they used to be, because everything progresses. So does the urethanes that ours are made of. It's a two-part urethane. It's like an epoxy. If you've ever used an epoxy, you got a part A and a part B. One of them is a hardener. You mix them together, and you get your glue. Well, it's very similar with this, except for it's not just one part and another part. There are many, many parts that go into making this, and especially the Silent Night. It's a multi-polyol. May not mean much.
So for those of you who are like me, right? I'm not this PhD in chemistry, physics, engineering, and that aerodynamics. And so what's interesting is I've learned, and you'll find out more as you dig into Silent Night, that this is really about science, technology, engineering, and it's kind of crazy all the things that people don't expect from a vane.
Right. Yeah, we flew out west. Actually east, got that backwards. We flew out east, and we had these tested by, the name of the company is escaping me, but it was very interesting to see the testing process. It wasn't a guy standing behind a tree judging what was loud, what wasn't loud.
So you shared those results with me, which was kind of interesting. So you might have seen them in some of the videos that they did the testing in a sound chamber.
In a sound chamber.
So highly scientific kind of setup, control.
Multiple microphones down an isolated tube into a chamber. So it was isolated from the bow sound, and you got multiple sounds through the chamber, all within a split second. And I learned a lot about sound.
So that report was ridiculously thick, from what I was able to see. But what, as a Joe bow hunter, how I interpret it as, and being a former teacher, is that I could see on the chart that when compared to the standard 2-inch vane, and we won't say any names on this, that the period of noise or sound that was created was much shorter with the Silent Night, which indicates more stabilization and faster stabilization of the arrow, and that also comes because it's a 3-inch. The other part was that it was 50% less noise, so the graphing was 50% smaller as well, and so that indicates just quieter. So
it does indicate quieter. There's and of course, perception and sound are two different things, and I learned this. I said, okay, when I was asking the techs, if you were going to describe this and this, I said, what is that to a person, to an average person? He said, you're going to hear about half the volume, half the sound. I thought that was pretty incredible.
Right.
So Silent Night, obviously being quieter.
And the sound for a bow hunter, this is why we came to you guys going, okay, I love to bow hunt. We want the best for bow hunting, and if you're a bow hunter, you want the quietest, because people think it's about the string jump, really, and what it is the arrow coming through the air that the deer is jumping and hearing on that. So if you want to be stealthier, we worry about scent control, all that kind of stuff. Why not have sound control as well of your arrow coming in on that? And so for a bow hunter, that's a key thing.
Very important. The jury's still out on, is it the bow sound or is it the arrow sound? And I'm fully convinced that it is the arrow sound that the deer hears.
And it's pretty easy to see that when you take and you step off to the side of something, you can hear that arrow sound on it. So, so I wanted to kind of get back to this as far as, evolution and perception of Flex-Fletch, because obviously you've got glues and you've had some great things, and my understanding of this, and just correct me as I go through this, so you've really got the SK2 that's been a big change. It has the shield cut, and we know that shield cuts, and it's a lower profile vein, so you've got better arrow clearance and things like that. But the Silent Night is really the bow hunter vein. Should be the bow hunter vein of choice. It's maybe not the most popular yet. We hope to get it that way, but it should be the tool that the bow hunter is using to one of the most effective hunts.
I think it's one of the most overlooked pieces of equipment. The guidance of your arrow is very important.
Right, we were just talking about that earlier.
About you can't just put something on the back of the arrow. You know what? If you got a second, let me just do this.
So let's do that. We were just talking about if you want your arrow to be the fastest, smoothest shooting thing, it's like a Ferrari going to your kill shot, right? And so you're not going to put some average Joe in there steering your Ferrari, nor are you going to actually have this just cut out piece of plastic to steer your Ferrari on it. So some of the main things that we looked at on the Silent Night, I'm just going to run through some of the things that I remember on it. Were obviously half the sound on it. There is more surface area, which allows you more stable on it. 30% smoother, and it's also thinner. So you also get it's a little bit less flutter too.
Yes, absolutely, and I'll show you that in a minute.
Okay, and then obviously a 2-inch vein versus a 3-inch vein. We know for bow hunting, the bigger the vein, the quicker it is to stabilize the arrow, longer shots for fixed blade, all that kind of stuff. What I like about it also for antelope hunting, it's a lot for longer shots. I don't know. That kind of blew me away a little bit more.
Your downwind trajectory is the drop will be minimal. Compared to a 2-inch vein. Well, so I wanted to show you this, and this is something that is not pointed out very often at all. And I'll do this towards the camera. So, and you at home can take your arrow and do this same test, because I don't have a competition to do it with. But when you pull this back, look how that comes back nice and slowly.
Yeah,
that is going to dampen the the oscillations of the arrow. That stops it. Actually acts like a shock absorber on your arrow. So if you take I don't want to name any names, but a competitor, just take it and do that to your vein, and you'll see it pop right back up.
Right.
That's not good vibration dampening.
Sure. Just like anything else on your bow, you want that, or a stabilizer on your bow that use that thing so it's a slow movement instead of back and forth.
And I believe that's listed on the package as being a vibration dampening arrow.
Oh, interesting. Well, cool stuff. Well, I appreciate you taking some time.
Absolutely.
And obviously we'll do some more things later on, but I just wanted the average person out there to realize what the difference is between a Silent Night, Flex-Fletch, because we sometimes see that co-branding together.
Right.
And the Flex-Fletch is is still the same great product, but the Silent Night is completely a new material on it as of January. So if you're familiar with things, it really changed.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Right. And he's still sweating because of it, right? So be thinking about it. Take a look at more at silentnightveins.com. I'll put the link for it in the website here before, but we appreciate you tuning in, finding out more. If you have any more questions about Silent Night, Flex-Fletch, any of their products, well, I want to say, people always say, oh, Flex-Fletch, you got to use their glue, right?
Right.
And really, I found out that's not the case at all, and it is great. You can use it.
Do not have to use our glue. We, of course, prefer that they would purchase our glue.
Of course, right.
No, the Flex Bond is old stable. We've had that since 1984, I believe.
Sure.
And our zinc cling, which we're really proud of. It's in a tube, lasts for a long time. And our primer pen.
And we were using that primer pen today to flood some arrows for some folks. So anyway, well, tune in more, and thanks for tuning in at Ridge Road Outdoors, and take care, and let's take it outside.
Thanks.